Hello, this is Sarah and welcome back to SoiledPlant. I wanted to make a quick video to talk about my process for diluting concentrates. I bought some Liqui-Dirt a few weeks ago and I didn't see much in the way of instructions for how to use this online, so I thought I'd make a quick video to show you what I do in order to dilute this. So what Liqui-Dirt really is kind of a fertilizer that you put in your water that you use for your everyday watering of your plants. But on the back of the packaging, they have different recommendations for different strengths depending on what you're using it for. For me, I do houseplant care. They recommend a full capful per gallon of water, and they recommend you use that every time you water. When I make my mixture, I don't use a full capful, but I figured I would show you what I do and you can take it or leave it. To dilute this, what I do is I have an empty gallon of water. I took a nice Sharpie and I wrote down Liquidirt solution on it so I don't confuse it with any of my others. I also have a container of filtered water that I write on my empty milk gallon jugs. If you're not a milk drinker, you can also just buy jugs of water like this at the grocery store and just reuse them at home. So what I do is I took this milk jug and I filled it about halfway full of filtered water. How I use filtered water, you can either get it from your fridge or your sink if you have filtered water in your house. I actually rent, so I don't have filtered water accessible to me and I can't really do modifications on my apartment. So what I did is I got myself one of these pure water filters. You can use Brita, what have you. I just happen to have a pure one and I have this setting next to my sink and it's empty right now because I just emptied it into this gallon jug right now. But I always make sure this is full, and whenever I have excess that I don't need, I will fill up extra containers so I can always make sure I have plenty of filtered water just in case, you know, the Sahara Desert decides to, you know, jump into my house and then I have to water all of my plants immediately. I have plenty of water to do so. So I use filtered water. I fill about halfway full. And then what I do is I use a funnel, partly because I'm clumsy naturally, but also this is a nice way to make sure you can clean your cap. And I'll explain what I mean in a second. But these funnels, this came in a pack of like 4 off of Amazon for a couple of bucks. You can get ones that are specific to kitchen, but I've found that they're a little bit thicker plastic, but you don't really need a heavy duty, you know, expensive, fancy filter. Did I just say filter? Funnel for this task in particular. So this one I actually bought out of the automotive section. You can also find these literally everywhere. Dollar stores, Walmart, grocery stores, they have these everywhere. Just check the automotive section. What I do is I set that right in there. Once again, it's halfway full. The packaging suggests a full capful per gallon of water for houseplants. I always err on the side of caution and I go a little bit more dilute than that. So usually what I try to do is fill this somewhere between somewhere close to 2/3 of the way full. There's a bunch of different ridges in here, so you can mark, you know, whatever, you know, ridge you want. Should have done this first, but I'm gonna mix it up just in case. Yeah, so when you get this in the mail, it actually comes just with the dry ingredients inside, and you're supposed to fill this up with filtered water. I actually use distilled, but you can use filtered water, that's fine, that's what it says on the packaging. But you fill it up with filtered water, you close the cap back up, mix it up a bunch, and I let it sit overnight. I actually let it sit a couple of days, but you don't have to. It's just, I happened to mix it the second I got it and I didn't use it for watering my plants until a few days later. So every time I use it and when I use a capful, I mix it just in case there's some like sediments in there or something, or things are settling out. Now that it's all mixed, I'm going to take the cap off, and the color of this is very dark. It's almost black. It just stops looking black once you dilute it a little bit, but it definitely has a black look to it, and it can get everywhere. You'll see I have some stains on my packaging. By the way, sorry for my nails being busted. I'm a human, that's just what happens. It has little stains on that, and that is from me mixing it. So this stuff will get everywhere if you let it. Now I'm going to pour out to about 2/3 full. Woo! See, I just went way over. The funnel helps. So I'm going to pour some of it in, and then I'm going to pour some of it back in the container. So now you're like, oh my gosh, your hands, your container, it's all covered in this black stuff. So what you do is just drop it right in the funnel. So now I'm just going to use filtered water. The measuring makes no difference. It's just a nice clear container so you can see what's going on. And what I do is I pour it with the cap in it, and I flip the cap upside down, move it around a little bit so I can get as much of that concentrate in there as possible. So now I've used a little bit of water just to clear that off, and that way I can put it right back on and it'll be nice and clean and not get dirty. But that just makes sure all the concentrate gets into the jug. So when you get the concentrate in and you've cleared out your funnel, leave a little bit of space in the top so that you can mix it properly. Without fail, my lid kind of leaks a little bit, so I just put paper towel around it, do a couple of these, get it all nice and mixed. Ultimately, in the end, you want to make sure your concentrate kind of has this color to it. It's almost like a kind of sweet tea, diluted something or other. So I like it to be around this color. You can go stronger, you can go weaker, it just depends. This is just the color that I kind of aim for. Once you're done, you can just pop this straight into your dishwasher or wash it like normal, and it'll be ready for the next time when you use it. This same technique I use for all of my plant concentrates that I use. So I have Captain Jack's and neem oil that are concentrates. So what I do is on the back, I say half a teaspoon for every 16 ounces of water. And on this one, it's 1 teaspoon for every 15 ounces of water. So I have spray bottles that have measurements on them. You can get these all over the place. And then you can put labels on it if you want. So what I do is I pop this straight into the neck of the bottle, and then it'll hold itself up. I'll weigh out of these containers. I will weigh it into a teaspoon, whatever the measurement is, pour it in there, put the whole measuring spoon in there, and then use water to kind of clear out the concentrate to make sure I'm getting the precise measurements on the concentrate into the bottle. And then, of course, backfill it with the rest of the water. Thank you so much for watching. This might have been kind of a duh type of video, like everyone knows how concentrates work. But I never saw a description like this, and I thought that this might be something that would be helpful to some of you if you've never tried Liquid-Dirt before, or any sort of fertilizer that comes in a concentrate like that. I know something like this can be a little intimidating, so seeing how easy it is to dilute it. And you can do this exact same thing without a funnel. You can pour it over the sink and rinse it off in the sink, and then just backfill this the normal way, mix it up, put it back in. So I'm just showing you the way that I do it because I happen to have funnels like that laying around, and it does make it a little bit easier, but you don't need them. You know, it's just pop a little bit of this, add some water, and you're all set. Found this video helpful in any way, or just enjoyed sitting here with me while I talked about concentrates, give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe down below, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!